Welcome back, everybody. I'm Anastasia. I am the host of the Insights with Us podcast. I'm a licensed professional counselor, owner of Happy Mind Wellness Company, Colorado-based therapy practice, and I am so glad that you're all here today. This is a slightly different episode. I've got two cameras going, so I don't know what this is going to look like once I'm done editing it. And I don't have a script today. I've got a little sticky note that has some points that I want to make sure I hit and kind of the order I hope to hit them in. We'll see what happens. But really, I want this to be a conversation today. For those of you who are new to the podcast, just as a quick disclaimer, there may be swearing. I'm human. I swear typically. It happens. And this is a podcast about the human experience. So if it feels natural to me, I'm going to swear. And sometimes we can talk about difficult or activating topics. I don't really expect that to happen today, but whatever your comfort level is, make sure you're wearing headphones if you need to, and remember that support exists for you if you want it. So like I said, today's going to be a little different. This is Stream of Consciousness. I am going to be talking to you all today. And the reason I am talking to you is because my hopes and dreams for this podcast have kind of been blown out of the water, and I want to set new intentions. I want to name my new mission, what I'm hoping to build here, and I basically want to manifest it. So I'm going to start today by talking a little bit about how my brain views manifestation, what it means to me. And I know it sounds a little woo, but for those of you that are scientific, I promise you I will get there. I will talk about the neuropsych behind it. For those of you who are a little woo with me, yay, we're manifesting today. Join me, manifest yourself. It's going to be great. So I'm going to talk about why I think manifestation works before I talk about what I'm manifesting. Manifestation works because our brains as humans, we like to hunt for patterns. And when we know what pattern we're looking for, we're more likely to then go out and find it. If you've ever done like an I Spy or like find the pizza kind of exercise, when you were a kid, you would go out and you would hunt for all the pizzas. And maybe you finish it and you had like a timer on it and they're like, how many pizzas do you have? You're like 12. Okay, but how many bagels? You probably weren't counting the bagels because that wasn't what your mind was hunting for. The same works for life, for values, for goals. If you are, let's say, in the middle of a depressive episode and your mind is going, nobody loves you and everybody's just mean and nobody's going to include you in anything, you're more likely to pay attention to when somebody does something and doesn't invite you than when you are invited to something. So being able to not just look for patterns, but decide what pattern you're hunting for matters. If I am saying, people have bad days and maybe they aren't going to invite me to everything, but I know that the people in my life who love me are going to invite me to stuff, that are going to include me, that they're going to text me and say that they're thinking about me. Well, then I'm going to notice when people do that and I'm going to count that, and that's going to matter. So when we're manifesting something, we're basically saying, I want to be open to noticing this pattern in my brain. I just noticed that doesn't work because of the shadow on my face. So yeah, if you're making a pattern through manifestation of, I want to be open to opportunities to climb the ladder in my job, well, then you're going to notice the next time there's an opportunity and you're more likely to jump on it than if you were just sitting there going, well, they're never going to hire me and, they're not going to notice me and they're not going to decide that this thing is here. Well, yeah, if you're not looking for the opportunities and you're not taking the opportunity, then you're not going to jump on that opportunity and then you're not going to be noticed. So naming and manifesting what you want to come true, there's a science behind it. It is important, it matters, and it helps our brains figure out what the next step is. So I want to set my dreams today. I want to set my manifestation and my mission and how I hope to build this platform that I've created. Because, like I said, my podcast dreams have kind of been blown out the water recently. I am shocked by it. Not really. I like what I'm doing. I believe in what I'm doing. But I didn't realize that it was time for me to shift this manifestation, this pattern, this mission that I'm hunting for. When I started my podcast, which I talked about, I want to say in my first episode, I started it because of a really difficult conversation that I had with someone where we were on opposite ends of the belief spectrum, but we spent hours discussing and hearing each other and going, oh, wow, from like that perspective, that makes sense. And well, here's my perspective on that. And we were able to come together and meet in the middle and hear each other. And it was just so beautiful that I wanted to start a podcast so that people who aren't necessarily in the mental health world or aren't typically surrounded by people who are different than them might be able to have access to those voices, might be able to learn something or gain insight and hopefully build acceptance for this world and see it from a slightly different perspective, because we are all human and we do all have to share this world. But, that was oh my God, I have to start a podcast. And then my brain paused and my perfectionism kicked in and my anxiety kicked in. And it was basically like, nobody's going to listen to this. You are lucky if you have 5 listeners. It's like, okay, well, that's a little unfair. I have more than 5 friends and my friends will listen to this podcast. But really what it was I can't expect to make it big. I can't expect to have this huge platform that everybody's going to respond to immediately. I decided to start this podcast anyway. And at that time, almost 2 years ago now, when I started this podcast, my goal, my mission was to help at least one person who didn't already have access to care, helping somebody be more open to the idea of mental health work, help someone have one insight moment of, oh my God, I never looked at it that way. Maybe I do have the ability to do this. Ooh, that person's story resonates for me. Maybe I can achieve this thing or believe in myself in a new way. And so that was my dream. I just wanted to help one other person who wasn't already a client or wasn't already a friend access something new. And like I said, I blew that goal out of the water. I have increased my listeners by a lot, by every episode. I get a little bit more every time. And at least once per episode, somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, this was really helpful. This piece that you talked about in this one episode opened my mind or made me think about something differently, or, oh, hearing that story made me tear up. It was so inspirational. Thank you, all of my guests, for making that happen. But I did it. You all did it with me. We're on this journey together. And that means that my goal of trying to help one more person access this more open, curious space has happened. So what comes next? I don't know, or at least I didn't know. I've spent the last month or so sitting with it, talking to people about it, and writing scripts that weren't just informational, but were based in my values. And what came out of that was this strong need, want, desire to build a community. I want to build a space where everyone is welcome, where people who have never been outside of their bubbles are welcome to leave their bubble or be on the outskirt of their bubble, where if they start to think differently or learn new information, that they're in an accepting place to maybe shift their perspective a little bit or even completely change their mind. Who knows? I don't really know who I'm talking about right now. It's just some random people out there who would benefit from this platform I am building. And for those of us who are already there, already accepting, already trying to be our authentic selves, I want to strengthen that feeling. I want a community where all of you can come here and reach out or listen to me or have our guests on and you feel seen or heard in some way. This matters to me. I love it. I love this journey that I am on. I have been thinking a lot about how this work is letting me access my creativity in a new way, but I also think it's allowing me to access my compassion in a new way. I get to show up as my authentic self here and not just think about, well, who are you and what do you need from me? I get to say, this is who I am and this is what I have to offer. And it's so, so beautiful that I get to do that. And I want all of you to be able to feel that feeling, that authentic self. You be exactly who you are and be seen and loved for that. Because you deserve love simply because you exist. And until everyone on this planet believes that, my mission isn't over. So it's literally never going to be over because we are all complicated humans and this planet is massive. But all of that to say, I want to build a community. And so I've been playing around with what that looks like, what that might mean, and I'm still figuring it out. But that is one of the reasons why I started using the term adventure buddies in my last couple podcasts, because you are all on this journey of insight with me. You are all moving through the human experience with me. And so you are my adventure buddies. And that might change. Maybe somebody has a different idea for what might fit better. Let me know. I am down to be flexible with it. But right now, adventure buddy is the only one I can think of that kind of fits. So you're all my adventure buddies right now. And we'll see where that goes. But I want us to build this community together. And my hope is to give more access. I am upping where you can find this podcast on Substack. I am starting to post my individual transcripts. I don't yet have transcripts for a lot of my guest episodes, but I'm also working on that. I am doing video episodes now, which will be released on Substack and on YouTube. And I'm starting to create and write a little bit more. I've got a short story that's about to be published. I am working on a novel. We'll see when it's done. I've got 1,000 projects that are happening. I've got some digital downloads. I've got some ideas for maybe some digital courses that people can sign up for. I want to build how people can find this community and feel accepted and loved in this community, because not everybody wants to listen to a podcast. Not everybody wants to watch a video. So how can I spread this love in other ways too? So again, I'm working on it. I'm constantly getting insight. I'm constantly growing and changing along with all of you. So if you have any ideas, please let me know. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. I have this dream that at some point I will have enough active, engaged fans that I can start doing AMAs. I would love people to send me questions and then be able to do episodes where I answer those questions for people. So maybe someday, or if y'all start sending me messages and questions, then I can compile them. And once I have enough, I can do an episode on it. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm just manifesting today. I don't actually have a plan. I just have a dream. And I have ideas for merchandise. I have ideas for stickers. I have ideas for hoodies. I have ideas for hats. I don't know. Something opened up in me this past month, and I want to build on the fact that you're all showing up for me. And so I want to show up for you in this new way. I really, really, really appreciate this community. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate that you listen. I appreciate that you care. I appreciate that you have an episode that speaks to you and you send it to your friends. I love that you exist. I do. And my face hurts. I'm smiling so much. I am so happy that you're here. And so, yeah, I am manifesting acceptance. I am manifesting authenticity. I am manifesting community. I am manifesting that I find all of these adventure buddies and we continue on this journey together. I have guests lined up through February right now. Like, I am cruising. I am not slowing down. We are on the highway and we are going at 80, and I got plenty of gas. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to share. I think that was the main thing. I wanted to share with all of you where my head is at and these new insights that I'm making about what I want to build with my life next. So yeah, if you have any questions for this podcast or anything you'd like us to focus on in the future, please send me a message on Instagram at Insights With Us Podcast. You can send me an email at insightswithus@gmail.com. You can find Insights With Us on Substack. You can donate on Buy Me a Coffee. You have to look for me, Anastasia Soroka, not Insights With Us, on Buy Me a Coffee. On Substack, I haven't yet because it's a little vulnerable, but I'll get there. I am going to start posting poems of my mental health journey. And I'm really excited. I'm really proud of a lot of them. Some of them are, but I'm getting there. And let's see, what else? Truly, if you have questions, please write them to me. If you have a story of insight or mental health and you might want to be a guest, feel free to reach out to me. But yeah, let's manifest this shit together. Let's build a community. I am here, I am in it, and I hope you are too. Thank you so much for being my adventure buddy on this journey of insight, and I appreciate every single one of you. All right, have a great day.